Yo, let's go!
Harder Brunch presents the Meat Cake Invitational 2024.
That's right. This year we're doing it bigger, better, and harder.
It's going to be 10 chef teams, 10 edible works of art, and you help be the judge.
Yeah, you buy one ticket and then that allows you to be a judge.
It's going down February 25th, a half liter. Tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.com.
Uh-huh.
I'm eating brunch with my people though. The homie Dyke just cooked up a feast and we bout to eat it, bro. Fucked around and has to mix the lobster with the poutine. Daddy is rolling blue dream. Them boys got down a routine. It's Naptown culture. Cooking 7 courses. Had to pass the torch and now I'm grabbing second portion. So sit back, relax, grab a drink and a smoke. It's Harder Brunch on the way and get prepared for the jokes. Whoa.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddaeus Mckee.
Sloppy Pepper wait!
And the ones and twos, the wheels of steel, the sauce boss of Indianapolis, and the last broke dragon. Give it up for Zach Rohn, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hey, oh. Nice.
Wow. There was a bunch going on out there this
That was
time.
a lot.
That's crazy.
Very, 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 very special first-time guest. Wanted you on for years.
It's your fault, not mine.
Chef, we finally made it line up. Chef Abbi Merriss, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. And I am full, and I'm so glad that I am full. To be quite honest, I was starving when I got here. So.
Can you come up a little closer to bring the mic up
Yes,
a little closer to you so we
sirree.
can hear you there?
Well, we've done a lot to try to get you. I guess you say you're not hard to get, but like we've had to do rituals, drink blood,
Blood sacrifice.
Yeah, just to manifest.
There was a
this.
Ouija board involved.
Yeah, I didn't like any of this, but we did it.
Well, I guess it worked. So, yeah. Thank you for manifesting me to be here.
I do feel like you're one of the busiest people in Indy. You wear a lot of hats and you got a lot going on.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, I mean, that's interesting you say, but yeah, I'm just happy to do whatever I can, you know. So I'm glad to be here. So
That's
let's
awesome.
get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Because I'm busy. I got to get to work. No, I'm joking. I'm rolling.
We put in a slip and slide over there for you.
Yeah, that's fun. I love it.
We have had people. We had somebody who had just opened a business and he hadn't physically been away from the business since it opened. It was like in the first week or two, and a PR firm told him to come on our show.
Interesting.
So he didn't know anything about us, and then we walked in and we're doing our normal goofy shit, and he's just like, "What have I walked into?" And he's just like checking his phone every 5 minutes, just like frantically, like, I think I made a huge mistake.
I guess he had a really good time.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard since that he had a really good time and, wants to come back or whatever. But, yeah, no, he did not seem like it. He did not. I guess it is if you think you're coming on for like a half-hour interview and then you have to stay for a 4-hour.
Well, you really get to know each other, you know, and then you take away whatever you want. And
He also brought us like $100 of lobster, and I put it on nachos.
and I just brought a couple croissants. How rude of me.
No, that was nice. We didn't use them, but that was nice.
Yeah.
That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the rest of the
There
week,
you
though.
go.
So you are the... I don't know all your titles. I know you're executive chef.
Yeah.
I know that you own and operate Bluebeard.
Yeah, so I am a co-owner in Bluebeard and Amelia's, and executive chef of Bluebeard.
Oh, Amelia's too.
Well, okay, so it's the same umbrella. So Bluebeard
gotcha.
and Amelia's,
Gotcha.
we are the same LLC, more or less.
Yeah.
So, but we have a team that runs the Amelia's department, and then I run Bluebeard with, the freelance managers and my beautiful pastry chef and all of the other, the team that we have. But so that's my title, executive chef and co-owner of Bluebeard.
And then what about the brasserie?
The brasserie, I started that in the beginning, pre-COVID. So we were excited and we were rearing and ready to go. And then next day, no mas. So, but then when we got back going again, I opened it up, set it up, and then acquired a team, and then so I was there for a little bit, and then I relinquished my responsibilities to another chef. So that way I was able to walk away and go back to Bluebeard, which is my home.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we talk a lot on this show when we have service industry people on about people that have changed the form and function of the Indianapolis culinary scene. And I mean, Bluebeard
always comes up.
Always comes up. It's always at the top of the list. It's something, and like I always try to pinpoint when that shift happened, and it seemed like kind of when that recess graduating class all kind of spread out and started doing their own stuff. That I mean, right around 2010-ish too. You also had the craft beer and craft cocktail boom, all kind of simmering at the same time and everything. And I'm friends with Steve Ruby, so he was just always like singing the praises.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "We gotta go to Bluebeard. I gotta eat there for every meal."
Wait, did you come from Recess as well?
Yeah, so I started Recess with Greg Hardesty. We opened it up together. So I was there in the very beginning, and then my good friend Ed and his family, the Batistas, they came to my ex-husband and I and said, "We got a 3-way liquor license for $1,000. Do you want to open up a restaurant?" And so we said, yeah. So then I left Recess in 2012. 2011. And then we opened in 2012 at Bluebeard. So it was a fast turnaround. So 6 months in between that first conversation and then the doors opened. So it was like
that's
bam,
insane.
bam, bam. I know.
What was that building before?
It was a paper factory many years ago. So I think it was developed in like early 1920s or 1950, something like that. I think it was the 20s when it was built. So it was a paper factory initially. And then, there wasn't a lot of stuff going on Virginia Avenue at that point. Well, for a very, very long time. They had the train car and shit. But so the Batistas bought that property many years ago, and they've always wanted to have something there. So they've always had an eye for locations and neighborhood, development. So yeah, when we were going under construction and we first opened up, the Culture Trail was coming in. So that development actually helped boost that whole neighborhood area.
Yeah. Okay.
That whole like corridor, more or less. So with that, it was wild because like the dugout was there, or is still there.
But the original dugout, not the...
Yeah, the labor, the labor union would always, just the tried and true people that have been going to the dugout for years. And then...
You're still smoking cigarettes in there.
Well, I don't know if we were or not. I'm just glad that one law passed where you don't have to smoke cigarettes, or you can't smoke cigarettes in bars.
I was like, was someone forcing you to smoke cigarettes in the bar?
The forced law. I hated that one too.
Yeah. My friend group, you did that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to hear about the culinary history of Indianapolis because like I've been on the show and there's a few names that always come up. Greg's name always comes up at Recess, and like it seems like the Recess there was like a Pangea effect where they spread it out, and then if you look at the history you see why everything is kind of the way it is, and like it's a lot of tell me if I'm wrong, but it's a lot of like very not self-promoters, self-starters, that want to do something in a unique way, but yet still pay homage to the tradition of cooking.
Oh, okay, yeah, completely. So when I first moved here in 2005, I started with Greg Hardesty at Elements. So he had opened up H2O Sushi back in the day. So first off, there was like a godfather of the culinary scene, which is Tony Hainslitz. So he kind of... started developing that culinary scene and building, other chefs up. And with that said, then came way for other people like Neil Brown, Greg Hardesty, who all kind of worked together. And because it was such a small community, they had to stretch themselves out because otherwise, what are we going to have? Nothing. Just going to be chain restaurants, So
and it was,
yeah. And then, there's so many different like layers to the conversation, but so he had Elements, and then he had sushi, then he had Elements, and then he got fucking tired of it, right? Because he was tired of like bending over backwards. So he decided to open up Recess, which made him be creative in his way that he wanted to be, and so allowing myself and some of the other chefs to come in there and work underneath them and understand like his processes, and like not just like giving the community whatever they wanted, he's giving them what he wanted, and I think that was a really cool approach. But it's
really
also
good.
very strange, at the same time, because, is that feasible, is it going to be successful? And it was for a long time, and he did a wonderful job doing it, and we definitely learned a lot and from each other and that's the thing that we just talked about in my meeting today is like, we never stop learning from each other. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how much background you have.
I'm teaching stuff to Zach every day.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are
Not
teaching
me.
me stuff right now. Those wings are delicious. So,
Yeah.
every meal I have, I'm learning something from it as well.
That's awesome. Like, how much time do you take to teach someone like something, like now that you're like the head chef, right? Like, do you like take time out every day? Like, I want to teach them this, or does it just come along and you're like, oh, you're gonna learn this right now?
Well, it depends on the person, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
If they're willing to accept some criticism, constructive education or growth, So I treat each person a little bit differently, but I do call it Bluebeard Academy because, we do get a lot of green people in there, which I kind of appreciate, because then that way I can mold them into what I want them to be. And
You don't have to fix bad habits.
well, I mean, that always comes with it too. But yeah, so it is like kind of case by case situations, and it especially depends on what I'm trying to show them how to do. Like so it might be like, 10 minutes here for this one procedure, but then they don't retain that 10 minutes of education. So then I have to repeat that again, the following day or the next time they have to repeat that task. So it is just case by case. So it's pretty wild. It blows my mind how much that you learn over time and how to manage and education,
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back in time a little bit.
How far do you want to go?
Get in that time machine, boys.
What was your first kitchen experience? Was like young
Working in a restaurant or kitchen strictly?
kitchen, whatever?
So I moved out to Norfolk, Virginia when I graduated. So I hightailed my ass out of Evansville.
Okay.
I followed a boy out there. So I started working on this place called the Tin Top, and it was just a counter girl. It was a little like it's still there today actually, which I'm pretty impressed by. But just kind of carry out food, but everything's kind of homemade. Soups and specials and whatnot. A very small little shop. So I was just a counter girl, and putting pizzas in the boxes and all that jazz. But then you had to start making like pasta, help prep, on the side when you had your downtime. So making pasta salads, potato salads, or whatever. And then I learned I had like a little bit of knack for, just kind of being creative and working with people and conceptualizing dishes or whatever. So Tin Top was my first kitchen experience. So then after that, then I realized that I wanted to continue my career. So I went to another restaurant in Norfolk called Cora, which is gone. It was called, it's called Cora, but their tagline was Uptown Southern Chow. But at the same time, it was a vegan restaurant. So, it's kind of bewildering because you're frying, chicken and shrimp in the same basket. You're frying tofu. So, it always, I was always like a little bewildered by that, but it worked. Yeah.
So did you come up strictly through restaurants, or did you go to culinary school?
I had the opportunity to go to culinary school when I was at Elements. So it was the second presidential scholarship that they were giving out. And I believe Tony Hanslitz went to Greg and asked if there's anybody in the kitchen that he thinks should be rewarding or deserving of, a scholarship. So, I had to put together an essay and get some recommendations from some other chefs. And, so I was awarded that scholarship. So I went to the Chef's Academy and studied pastries because I was already doing savory stuff. So I figured it would be like a good way to round out my
Handpicked by Greg.
Well, I mean, he proposed that I, apply for the scholarship. And lo and behold, I got it. And I still acquired debt.
It'll get you every time. Wait, so when did you come back to Bloomington then? Was there
Bloomington, Indianapolis.
Or Indianapolis, I mean.
So 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, so I graduated in 2001, went to Norfolk, and then moved to Indy in 2005. Started working at Elements. And I graduated the program at the Chef's Academy in 2008. So because of going to school, though, I will say I had the opportunity to take an internship out in New York, in Manhattan. So I got some more experience out there. And had to get another job, obviously, in New York because, you know, I didn't get paid for my internship. Luckily, they gave me a Metro card, which is like gold out there. But, so then, yeah, I was able to work at different restaurants, do some staging with some other chefs. And
How was working in a New York City restaurant compared?
Thrilling.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I didn't have to come back, but I had to make excuses, so I had to move back home.
I feel like New York would be scary. There'd be just like
scary,
a lot
but
of cussing.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
For real?
people are sabotaging all the time. But
Wait, sabotaging?
Yeah, because they want to like their placement in the kitchen. They want to,
They gotta move up.
and they want to shut you down.
Right.
You know, but then you just have to prevail. You know,
Right, and you have to learn how to sabotage.
Well,
That's part of it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do. First thing when I go to the New York kitchen, I'm like, how do I sabotage the best guy? I'm thinking poison. I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like things that would get the restaurant shut down.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you don't even work there. You're just poisoning people.
You come over with a whole bunch of cockroaches and throw them out.
Yeah, they're like, sir, have you been seated? Like, I'm working here.
But I mean, yeah, it was super interesting because I was working with people that were like planning on moving. Like it's a very transient area, you know. So like I was working with a guy that worked at Abbi for a long time, and then some of these other people that were in the kitchen, they were on their way to go to like Mugaritz, you know, some very very like high end. Like I have cookbooks on my shelves of these restaurants, you know. So it was just cool to like be able to interact with all of these other chefs across the time. But
how'd you stay out of the shit? Like, because you said there was a lot of drama. Like,
well,
or did you?
I got my job done, and then I realized why they were sabotaging. You know,
they're jealous.
Well, yeah. So it's like, okay, now I understand. I'm not going to cut shallots right now. I'll cut shallots at 5 o'clock rather than at 3. You know, I see why they were doing it, but then, you know, I just figured out how to get my way around it. And yeah, they probably were jealous because I could run laps around them eventually. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's easier said than done if you just put your head to the ground and do your job. And
That's kind of Dyke's. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I noticed when I was in culinary school, there was a lot of like those type A personalities, and there was like, I don't know, 100 kids in my class, and it was just like, I'm not gonna engage the way they're doing it. You know, I'm just gonna put my head down and do my work.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you look back up, and there was like 20 people still in the program. like 4 years later, like
80 people dropped out.
Yeah. People just dropped out all the time.
Well, people would drop their dentures or the pills sometimes too.
Oh.
I saw some weird things during culinary school. There was one time the health department was coming around. Trowski, I hope you don't mind me telling this. I don't know if you even privy to this, but someone was like, hey, you need to wash the lettuce. So a student was washing the lettuce in the sink, but they were washing it with a scrubby and soap. And the health department was walking around all the while. So I don't think that person lasted very much longer. You know? Some people actually just went to culinary school just to get fed too. You know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the
strange.
chefs that work there, I think, they would just come in like at the end of class, except for like first year students that were like still undercooking chicken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like,
That would be an interesting TV show, like, you know, chefs with like lower IQs.
Well, I mean, a lot of us probably do. It's just like we're good at like certain things. You
No,
know?
I'm talking low.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking low to the point where it's
shouldn't be
not
holding knives.
where it's not inappropriate, but like it's kind of like cute.
Yeah, like washing lettuce with soap.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's only cute for a minute.
Well, there's Love on the Spectrum. There's a show called Love on the Spectrum.
You're right.
So
And that's
there
a
could
really
be
good
cooking,
show.
Cooking on the spectrum could be interesting and messy.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Take this away. Take the mic away from me. I'm getting scared.
Let's talk about what we ate today on our
Yeah.
brought to you by our sponsor, Smoking Goose at 407 Dorman Street. It's time for the Smoking Goose brunch breakdown. Now we did a barbecue theme for you today. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. And I didn't realize that was at the top of the menu.
Zach set you up.
Yeah, it set me up for failure. And the way this was interesting, we kind of did everything family style, which is kind of different than we normally do.
I just thought this is how it always goes down.
We usually have like usually each of us will take like 2 courses and then do that whole course. And then this one, he did the proteins and I did the sides. And then we kind of, when we came together, we decided it'd be better to do the family style and then serve the little
I
things.
really like his sides. Like when he does he's like some of the best like mac and cheese and the greens. So I was like, you have to do that for sure. And then he's like, well, I could do this and that. And then all of a sudden he was like doing 6 sides. I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, well, we'll figure this out. But yeah, I saw there's this place. I was trying to. There's a place down in New Orleans called Blue Oak Barbecue, and I went down there 10 years ago, and they were literally like serving out like out of like a food stall inside like of a dive bar, and the bar was awful. It was like the guy that owned it was a monster, but the food was great. And I remember being shocked because I was like, you guys gonna eat wings here? Like you guys are gonna get barbecue out of the back of this shitty dive bar? And it was phenomenal. And I've watched these people grow over the years, and now they have like a real full restaurant and everything. So I always watch what they're doing on social media. And they had this chimichanga, and I was just like, man,
Oh boy, that was so good.
it's like I wanna recreate that.
Best chimichanga I have ever had.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
No.
Well, I think it's probably definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm not backing out. Like, it was the best one I've had. I don't eat a lot of chimichangas. I should say that.
Well, as I said during brunch, that's my go-to when I go to a Mexican restaurant is chimichangas.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than a fried burrito with a whole bunch of cheese on it, you know? And then it transfers well to later as well. But the best thing was that I was starving when I got here. I was really nervous this morning. I was like, am I going to be hungry? I don't know what's going to happen. And then I was craving some chicken fingers and just fried chicken. So then when I got here, I'm glad that this menu was presented. The
Everything's
chimichanga
fried.
was so good.
We need to work out a better like.
What are you talking about? That was fine.
Like no, we need to work out a better like frequently asked questions about like what to expect when you come over here, because I feel like
No, it's better to be like
Surprised.
just shocked.
Well,
Yeah.
some people don't realize there's going to be 2 or 3 more courses, so they'll eat like all of the first
I
one,
did that.
and then it's a problem.
Yeah.
and then they're upset.
Well, a lot of times too, it's like you're hungry by that time. You know, by the
Yeah.
time we're eating, it's like you're ravenous, and then. One of my favorite things is to bring out, like, I like people to be kind of pissed by the time the last course gets brought out. You know, people are like, are you kidding me? Another one?
Today was a throwback to that. We used to go. It used to be a lot like today, almost every time. Like we've kind of like cut back like to like a reasonable amount. There's still leftovers, but you know. But yeah, I feel like when I dropped the last like savory course, everybody kind of groaned, and then I went back and I was like, they're not gonna want that pie.
It was also good. Well, but what you said earlier when you're dropping food off, it's like as chefs, we don't make small amounts. You know, there's no way that we'll make an appropriate amount.
I tried so hard. I tried to, and everything kept inflating, like the beans, the macaroni, all of it, and then it was, I've still got more at home that didn't make it into the. I don't know what I felt kind of like Jesus, like more food was coming out, and
Do you think that's how Jesus felt when they He's like, I got more.
get rid of this bread.
They're like, nah, boo, we are full.
He turned all the water into wine. He's like, damn it, everyone is drunk.
Yeah, there is a point where it does become too much. Like when the meatloaf slide. Sorry, I'm not. We're not even there. We're not even there, but I'm kind of still mad thinking about it.
I did notice everyone only ate one.
I mean, that whole last round was, like there were people taking tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that was a good bean.
Thanks.
Well, go hard or go home, right?
And then the next one was the wings, which so Zach used to own batch number 2 mustard.
Yes.
So he is the official sauce boss of Indianapolis. So what were the 3 sauces you did?
I did. So I did a just like a Kansas City like sweet barbecue. I did a mustard based barbecue, and then I also did a white barbecue, which is like a mayonnaise based one. That's actually one of my favorites.
That's actually, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that sauce a lot.
Did it have some horseradish in it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Lots of horseradish. And, lots of mayo. A lot of mayonnaise. That's basically it.
Yeah, the flavors of that for me, it was really good. If I was gonna play around with it, if it was my sauce, I would be like, hey, could we go back a little bit with the sodium, just a little bit? But like I like it. I like a lot of sodium. Like I would mess up those wings if I was in like a bar with the lights out by myself.
Gotcha.
Did you brine the chicken wings before, or you just?
Yeah,
you
I think they were brined.
It was really good.
Yeah, those were good.
And then
Did you like the wings?
I didn't actually eat one.
Are you guys a flat or a drum person?
Either one.
Drum.
Yeah.
I'm a drum person myself.
I noticed. I used to work. I've had a lot of line cook jobs, and I've noticed that I was a vegetarian from the time I was 16 until like my late 20s. So I didn't have a chicken wing till I was almost 30 years old.
You didn't have one prior?
Well, they weren't like popular when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Like in Indianapolis, it was like there was a few places, but they weren't like, I mean, I stopped eating meat in 96. So like it just wasn't, everywhere. And so
Wait, you look so young.
I'm not.
Wow.
He's 75.
But
You look good, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
I didn't have a good response to that.
I'm not. Let's move on.
Well, it's funny that we're all like, we love to indulge, and I think everybody around here looks really good.
Black don't crack, but it breaks on the inside. Yeah, so like I remember like working I worked in a sports bar in like Bloomington, and then I worked in a dive bar in Indy, and I didn't realize that like the difference between like black people want their wings like well done. Yeah, they want them fried to hell and back, and like they would keep sending wings back and be like, hit them again, and I'm like, this has been in there for 20 minutes. I don't know. I think it's dead. Like I don't know what to do.
There's also something I had learned, and I've never like chased this down, but apparently, if like wings are frozen,
yeah, chat them tap.
They'll be blacker inside on the bone, and if they're fresher, you'll end up with more like the red on the bone, which gets confused a lot.
Oh yeah.
So like I would work at place and they'd switch to like a fresh wing or whatever, and everybody would be complaining because they would see like a red vein or something, and they're like, "This chicken's raw. This is done." Yeah, and like you could cook them a long time, and it would still keep that color.
Well, my favorite wings in town are Chatham Tap.
The angel wings?
Yeah.
Is there a better sauce?
I mean, it teaches own, I really like that a lot. But the reason why those wings are so crispy and stay crispy so long, because I did some investigation. They take them from frozen and then throw them in the fryer. So that's why it does take them like
from frozen.
From
like,
frozen
okay.
and then just throw
Cook them straight through.
All right.
Yeah.
I had to like
so good.
I had to like track a busboy down to get the recipe. I had to like pry it out of someone's cold dead hands.
I've done that. Chef JJ's has a stall up in the Christmas market, and their French fries are the best fries I've ever had in my life. And I mean, it's just out of a little stall, and I, tracked down one of them, and I tracked down like the lady that helps her, and got she said that they went through like 20 different varieties at Cisco before they landed on one, and then I got the little code for it. I don't know when I'm gonna buy a case of them for myself, but
You ready?
Yeah, that seems like another Harder Brunch episode, like where we just like the secret ingredients that we tracked down. Like, Dyke killed a busboy. You had to sneak into Chef JJ's.
Yeah, we should track down recipes from restaurants, secret recipes, and then out them. Kind of like the magicians used to do in the 90s.
Oh, out 'em.
Yeah, tell all the secrets,
This is going to get messy.
Food's deepest secrets revealed.
Well, I heard about how to do the St. Elmo's cocktail sauce, too.
Ooh. Just add as much horseradish sauce as you possibly can.
No, it's should I disclose my information?
I know a little bit about it too, so
I'd like to
hear
what, drop it.
Well, okay.
I'd like to hear what you.
From my knowledge, or from what I've learned, one, they use a meat grinder,
Right. Yep.
but also turnip
Turnip.
and the horseradish as well. Yeah.
All right, she just let it out, guys. Can you
But
come
I
and
didn't
get
give you
her?
the ratio, so
No, because I mean, and I always heard. So like, I always heard it. Is the grinding it with the meat grinder, but also like the fact that they do it every day. And then there's certain ways, like when you're grinding it, if you grind it, and this works with the same way with like mustard. If you grind it into water, it'll get hotter first.
Oh, yeah.
And then you add the vinegar when it gets to the heat you want, because the vinegar stops that reaction, stops it building.
Seriously?
Yeah. Horseradish and mustard, they're all they do the same thing.
Wow. I'm intrigued. This is great. This is great stuff. This is for free, guys. You guys are getting this for free at Harder Brunch. And also for free.
It's not free.
It's not free.
It's not free. It's not even kind of free.
The water was free.
Upland's doing their free drinks on January. I just want to announce that. Go Upland. Everything is free, baby. Go, and you have to buy a little dragon and say, hey, it's for free. And then you get whatever you want.
Harder Brunch is a parody comedy podcast. It's not free.
Upland wanted us to say that. Cheers. Cheers to Upland.
It is delicious.
It is.
It's so good that, you want to pay for it, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good way to turn it on.
Hey, it's my friend Max.
Ooh, boy.
Sorry, real quick, I just got to say those greens, they're just always on point. I don't know what you can
Thank you.
say about greens, but
Got ham hock in that.
I use pork necks. And then I had made like over the Christmas market, I had all access to a lot of like ham bones, and so I just made ham bone stock for like I got gallons of it at home, and I used some of that in with the pork necks. Just cooked it up for a day until it all fell apart.
You brought over a ham and bean soup, and it was supposed to be half for me and half for Thad, and I ate my half, and I almost ate Thad's half. and then I was like, no, that's not right. And then I was like, so then I'm just like telling Thad, like, because Thad will leave food in the fridge and never touch it.
Right.
Well,
and it drives me crazy because I'm just like, all I want to do is eat it. So I was like, Thad, you have to eat this. This is the best ham and bean soup I've ever had.
And I don't like ham and bean soup particularly. I don't go out of my way like, hey, where can I find some ham? But like, he's like, this is the best. I was like, I tried it, and it almost changed my life. Like, there was a tear that came down. I was like, it was sugary. Like, there was was there a lot of sugar in it?
Sugary.
And not like too much. I'm saying this was perfect.
I use brown sugar in my ham and beans.
Brown sugar.
I've never done that.
Absolutely.
Just found out another secret.
Yeah, I got that from my grandma. Like as far as
Really?
like a secret recipe. Yeah.
You use
Dude, that
white
was-
beans in your ham and bean soup?
What's that?
White beans in your ham and beans?
Yeah, I use navy. I just got a big bucket of navy beans. I use those for just about everything.
Sugar.
It was the best I've ever had.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But now I'm jealous.
Yeah, you didn't get that today.
No.
Yeah, you got the shit.
I love you.
We mailed it in for everybody else.
All right, now Thad, you can say what you wanted to about the meatloaf sliders.
Screw that meatloaf, man. I heard y'all talking about like maybe we should do 2 for them. Like we should like. Were you guys thinking 3 at one point with the sliders?
Well, I mean, I will say he had enough slider buns for like 20 sliders a piece, which I thought was aggressive. I don't know what we were.
Here's my fatal flaw every week, and you would think after doing this for 5 years, I would. When I'm shopping and get everything out for the courses, I don't think about the order of when so I always think about like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna have like 2 of these. I don't think about the fact that this is the 3rd course that's coming out, and everyone's gonna be angry at this point. So like in my head, I was just like, yeah, everyone's gonna eat like 2 or 3 sliders, right? That's what people eat. If it was the first course, maybe, but yeah.
Like I took one bite and my stomach said, "You're gonna throw up," and I was like, "All right, I can't eat any more of this." I really wanted that smoked banana put. Oh, spoilers!
Wow.
I'm just spoiling the whole menu.
Yeah.
He's drunk with food.
He's trying to food.
And also alcohol.
And alcohol.
Free Upland, everybody.
It's not free.
Yeah, meatloaf sliders. And
It's free in your mind.
It's the opposite of free. It's a business that they sponsor.
Well, I have been notorious to take sandwiches and put in my purse and save them for later. So if there
yeah?
are some meatloaf sandwiches missing,
Hey,
it's probably in my purse.
we have to go boxes. Don't you worry.
I feel like I would be really proud if somebody took food in their purse out of brunch.
Like stole.
Yeah. Like that says a lot if you're willing to steal it.
That's a goal.
Yeah.
Casey, have you caught anybody stealing?
Have you stolen anything?
I was gonna say guilty. That's why I'm not allowed to bring a purse anymore.
Broccoli slaw and the I mean, I love a good vinegar-based slaw. I love a good light slaw.
Yeah.
I wanted to make. I was gonna make a side. I was gonna put slaw on it, and
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
didn't get a chance to eat.
Well, there's plenty.
There's plenty more.
There's
up there.
plenty. You can give that a go still.
And then the maple baked beans. Now, what were you saying about those? You really wanted to.
Yeah, I just so I feel like baked beans are one of those things. Every time I make them, I don't really like them as much as I like them as much as I like a canned baked bean. And I really wanted to try this time to make one that I liked. I think I did. I was happy with it. I put big old chunks of jowl meat in there.
Yeah, there was some jowl meat in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was the jowl. So when I rendered the jowl meat, I used that fat to toss the macaroni for the mac and cheese.
Okay.
So all of the fat went in the dinner.
What if I showed up and I was vegetarian?
I mean,
That'd be crazy.
That would have been stupid.
We did ask
That's
if there
the one
was any
thing that does get
dietary
asked, yeah.
dietary restrictions. We've had vegans on before. We will accommodate to anything.
we had a vegan once, and then the guest changed, and so we had to turn the vegan menu. Well, no. So here's what happened: we had a guest that was going to be vegan, and then Dyke's like, it's going to be another guest. We'll still do the same menu. I was like, all right, and then he just does a meat menu and leaves me to bring all the vegan stuff. So
Yeah.
We've had guests on that don't like food before, and we didn't find out until we cooked a bunch.
Did they not know the name
They
of the
weren't-
show?
So, we had a comedian on, because usually we alternate between service industry people and comedians. So it's kind of a wildly different show depending on who's on here. And this comedian, I always ask, is there any dietary restrictions? And I've added or foods you just don't enjoy. You don't have to be allergic to it. And he gave me 2 things, and it was
caviar and mustard.
Was it?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Only 8?
And
Or that's the only thing he said that wasn't.
It was
okay.
he was I don't like caviar, I don't like mustard. We're like, okay, not a problem. And then it was also and I also don't like anything else.
Yeah, he mispronounced everything.
And so we were bringing this food out, and it was he was just taking a half of a bite, just the smallest courtesy bite, and then sending the whole thing back. And it was after the third, I was like, is he okay out there? Is he did I burn everything? What's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't really enjoy food.
Meanwhile, his pregnant wife was at home wondering what he was doing. So
Yeah, he didn't bring any
Starving.
No,
to-go
literally,
boxes or
saw all the pictures on Instagram and was like, I can't believe you didn't bring anything back and didn't eat anything at brunch.
But we had a return episode of them both fighting on the episode. So guys, check that out.
and then the smoked banana cheesecake, banana pudding cheesecake, not banana cream pie.
Well, good thing I didn't write cream pie.
You did.
Yeah.
The first draft.
You're the only one who said cream pie.
Yeah.
The first draft he sent me just said banana cream pie, and I was like, he was like, just look at this for me, and I was like, it's not a cream pie. No one said cream pie.
Yeah.
He just
And
tricked me.
Everyone loves a good cream pie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wink, wink.
I think he's just trying to trick me. He was just setting me up for failure, I think, is what happened.
That's what
I was
happened.
hoping you'd do this.
It's happening perfectly. This actually should have been called used to smoke banana pudding.
Or I just smoked and I made a banana pudding cake.
It was
where was the smoke?
it was
Yeah, what happened to the smoke today? I guess it was called Smoke 'em if you got him.
It was
Did it happen?
it was made in a bakery next to a guy that was smoking.
Secondhand smoke pie.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Secondhand smoked pie. That's the name of the
That is
episode.
great.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll take a quick smoke break, and we'll be right back.
This week on the After Brunch Podcast.
But I'm just saying, like you're doing art, you're getting naked, for the foot. Like, do you go soft or hard?
Soft. It's all very.
Oh, you never go hard.
I think soft is sexier than hard.
Yeah.
Hard
What?
is I think hard is what designates it
I don't
as
wanna look at
pornography.
No, that's
Let's not bring up his nude photos.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Join us at patreon.com/harderbrunch.
Abby, you're enjoying some of our delicious sponsored Tinker coffee.
Yes, it's very good.
You
I like the French press form myself.
Yeah?
So, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the French press. Tinker Coffee is you can have a subscription. You can have a coffee sent to your house, and if you use promo code brunch, you know what, Zach, you get 25% off.
See, I thought that it was also free right now.
Not the coffee.
Yeah.
Well, it's free here
so
today
weird.
for me.
You guys are doing the plugs wrong.
Yeah, it's weird. We lost all our sponsors on the same day.
Well, I'm just trying to say it frees your mind.
Yeah. Frees your inhibitions.
So it's freeing your mind.
It's alcohol free. It's, it's everything free.
Yeah, like this little dragon, 0 calories plus.
Actual mileage may vary.
It would be wild if we got sued for that kind of lying. Just like watching it in court, like them say all the ridiculous things. Like, did you claim that it was?
Here, this is what I'll say. It's not 0 calories because I do see in fine print in white it says 110, but it does, say low calorie.
Oh, yeah.
And the L is littler than the O, which I think is subliminal.
That's weird. Yeah.
Where it looks like it says 0 cal.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, totally. I can see that from here.
So that's why I thought it was 0 calories this whole time.
I get nervous because I just watched that Pepsi Points documentary about when they sued him for the jet. Yeah, so I'm real careful about what I'm saying on here because Thad will promise somebody a jet.
Can you imagine if we had to work off a jet because of that for the rest of our lives?
Drink Upland, you'll get a free jet.
Disclaimer: that's not true.
Excuse me, jet ski. It's cheaper.
I went and I was picking up our Tinker coffee from the El Jefe over there, and I was like, he was dishing up the coffee and he's telling me about all this, like, he's going tell me all about the beans and giving me the whole rundown and everything, and I'm like, I know I look good, I like good coffee, but I don't have enough knowledge about, like, when he starts explaining the differences, I'm like, that also sounds good. Yep. I'll take some of that. And then he's like, got these big bins and he's like scooping it out and weighing it out. And I'm watching this whole like operation. I was like, how easy do you think it would be for you to like become like a cartel leader? Like based on everything, like if you just switched out coffee for cocaine, I feel like
just scaling all the time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those skills would be transferable, except when you fire people in the cartel, they stay fired.
Well,
it's a tire fire.
You got to kill them. That's one of the things with the cartel. You just got to be comfortable with eliminating people from Earth.
How do you feel about firing people?
You're going to ask her about the cartel.
I would rather be a cartel boss. I think it'd be easier to get rid of the people I don't want. Yeah. I don't like to fire people, but, sometimes it happens. And sometimes, they don't want to be fired, so you have to deal with that.
Well, there's more of a fear with cartel, like, because guns and stuff like that. But like being a chef, I feel like there is fear already because you're the head chef, right? And they want to respect you. But does anybody ever walk in with like, I got this? I don't.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And
those are the ones that actually weed themselves out.
Okay.
So like, I have done my fair share of firing over the many years, but at the same time, I'll just like wait something out. And then they will just kind of disappear. So the problems just work themselves out, which is kind of sad to say because,
this is kind of funny because we used to always have this thing because there's 3 people from the Chef's Academy in this room right now. But the Chef's Academy was one of those places where it was just like, it did put out some of the best, but I feel like they also graduated a lot of shitty chefs. There was a lot of people that came to the point where like I would work at other places and people that came and they like the first thing they said was they came from the Chef's Academy. I was like, we'll see.
And you could probably say that with any of the culinary schools.
Sure, for sure.
Because we've had, how many? We have like, what? We have 3 or 4.
I feel like as it was located downtown, I just saw more of it, like I was.
Yeah. I feel like there was also something specifically like Arts Institute and Chef's Academy, I feel like get a little worse of a rep. I mean, I heard it after I graduated from the Chef's Academy. There were some places that specifically told me we don't hire Arts Institute or Chef's
The Art
Academy
Institute
graduates.
was literally a pyramid scheme inside a pyramid. Like,
But you're also right. There's some of the best people I know came from there.
but I remember I would work with a lot of people that like just graduated and they'd be like, I don't do dishes. And I was like, oh, honey. Oh, like, oh, chef, you're wrong. You're wrong there.
Yeah, just recently somebody, I had one of my guys that is in charge of the cold line. He was telling somebody that they need to be cleaning. Another guy was like, I'm not here to clean. And so I found it out. It's like, no. If you're sitting around, you're going to be cleaning.
That's right.
Like, you do something. I'm not paying you to.
Yeah, I hate that cocky attitude.
Is that so? What's the top indicator that someone's a bullshit chef to you?
Bullshit chef or line cook or just in general, just a cook. Well, goodness gracious.
That's my number one. Someone's just like they're too good to do dishes or too good to
that's
clean. Like, wow.
If they're too good to just do anything except. Well, if they don't respond to like education, if they think that they know all the answers and then they burn something twice or, they just don't make it correctly after being so cocky and arrogant about it, then I'm like, see, you're an idiot and you just got to pay. It's like that kind of little shit, I guess.
Yeah. What's the most egregious thing you've ever seen like somebody do like that?
Besides the washing the lettuce with the...
Oh, yeah.
Soapy lettuce.
I feel like that at least happened in a school setting, like, I mean, I was helping, like Thad was a teacher and, we were doing like a cooking, learn education, like
we're
very basic
cooking with the tots,
very basic stuff for these, and they're like junior high school age kids. And we were just measuring. I think we were making no-bake cookies or something real easy. And I was just like, oh, yeah, you just get a cup of this. And then I just watched like 3 kids just grab like a pint glass and like fill it up. And I was like, oh, we got to start back. Hold on. we got to go back. So a cup is 8 ounces.
I mean, I guess just recently, it was very annoying to me. And this person actually weeded themselves out pretty easily because they couldn't handle being told how to do their job. And Yusuf... He knows what I'm talking about here. So I showed this person how to make pate, and I'm not like super specific about like recipes because it's hard for me to follow recipes, even though I have a pastry background. So I showed him how to make pate. Held his hand, all the way through. Second time, I held his hand a little less, and then it turned out to look like hummus and dog shit. And it's like, there was like lies along the way. I was like, well, did you do this? Did you do this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, obviously you didn't, it's like your mother always said, they have like, eyes on the back of their head. They know exactly what you're doing. You can't like,
can't lie,
you can't
to
fool
chef.
a fucking, like I've done all these things before too,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really effing annoying.
Can't bullshit a bullshitter.
No.
Hummus and dog shit sounds like the worst.
Pate.
The worst thing to see on a menu. That's for sure.
It was just, I just didn't know how he got to that point. And I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast because he's not. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore.
Fast forward 10 years later, he has his own hummus and dog shit restaurant.
They said it couldn't be done.
They said it couldn't be done.
Goddamn Abby.
No one believed in me. But hummus caca dog is good.
Oh boy.
Netflix chef's table.
I first started off with cooking on the spectrum.
I can just see like a guy smoking outside. He's like, a lot of people said that people wouldn't like to eat dog shit in hummus. I knew there was a market for it.
Well, because
it's vegan, isn't it?
I'm not trying to be gross. I'm not trying to be silly, but there is a market for digested food shit.
Oh, pre-digested stuff? Kind of like mama bird, baby bird?
No, I'm not talking about masticating food for people.
Oh, okay.
I am talking about actual shit.
Oh.
Like
human
cat,
centipede.
Like the cat shit with coffee. That is like a, what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That coffee comes out of the cat's butt, which some people know as poop. They feed them a certain type of bean.
Slow down, science man. What's going on here?
Mr. Wizard.
And so I don't know if there's a market for if dogs digest a certain food in a certain way where it can become eloquent. Oh
God, I can't believe you're pulling these pictures.
Yeah, this is
That's the
cat
cat.
caca.
So I wonder if you could just like wrap something in plastic, swallow it, and sous vide it in yourself. As you passed it
I
all the
know
way
they do that with
through.
heroin and drug trafficking, and then they die.
I think, they sue me a lot of heroin into prison.
This is Norwegian sous vide. Just Zach eating something and cramming it out. What a
I
display.
don't like making this.
Why are you sweating over there? Just processing a pork belly.
The more I talk about it, the more gross it becomes to me. Because what would be the demonstration at the table? Like, Zach, you stand up on the table.
Can you cough, sir, please?
You stand up on the table and it comes out perfectly.
Well, I think that's when you have the maitre d' remove the diaper and present it on the table.
There's a whole thing to it. It's like making a Caesar salad.
I can't believe we got the chef from Indy on Harder Brunch and just start talking about shitting on the table.
That wouldn't be the first time this conversation has come about.
At least we were ourselves.
I'm glad I agree myself.
If Bluebeard wasn't a thing, and you could cook something completely different than the style of food that you are currently cooking, what would it be right now?
I don't know. I mean, maybe go for like sushi or something. Going back to that, because I think that art is really, it's a beautiful, process to be able to care for the fish in the proper way. And then, making the rice is very important. And then, it's just a very difficult technique to learn, and it shows how passionate you are if you can do all those things right, I guess. But that would also get really boring over a while, or after some time, I suppose. I don't know. I have a dream of retiring in Montana and just making pies and riding a horse to a diner.
That's awesome.
Would you deliver the pies on
Yeah,
horseback
on my
to
horse.
the diner?
Yeah.
Pie lady's coming. I can hear the horse.
Well, it would be my diner,
Horse
but
pies.
it'd just be like a pie diner.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
like a pie
pie now.
house.
You thought the horse and the pie was related.
No, yeah, I'll be taking the
Well, I thought it was like, Abby's
have a-
horse pies. And then you order them
back
and
to
then
shit again. Cow patty and horse pies.
Let's get off the pot. Shittering off the speaking of, you were talking about sushi. Speaking of the Year of the Dragon,
Is it Year of the Dragon?
You're really trying. You're doing a good job. You're going to make it.
I'm scared that I'm going to say something racist. Because on who invented sushi? I guess that, and then I'm safe. Because there is a dragon on one of their flags.
I feel like there's dragons in a lot of cultures. What are you doing?
I'm scared. Anyways, you're doing a dragon themed.
Yeah, so let's just go to this. So
Help him out, Abby.
So Bluebeard is hosting our first Dungeons and Dragons dinner. So
Yeah.
so we have two guys that we've been working with, Eric and Kevin, who are going to be the DMs, Dungeon Masters. I don't know if I'm not too familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. I played a few times, but yeah, the way they set it up, it's going to be like a 4-course dinner. And so it'll be slightly timed, but we have the Dungeon Masters, a great storyline. You come in and roll for your character, and then you just it's like a role-playing interactive feast. I
That's
suppose.
awesome.
Yeah. So tomorrow's our first night.
Kind of mad we didn't think of that first. That seems up our alley.
It's going to be really interesting. So then we're going to have 2 more dinners right at when the start of Gen Con happens. So July 31st and August 1st.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah.
That is smart. So both of them are sold out.
Well, we haven't promoted the other 2 yet. So tomorrow night sold out in less than 24 hours. So it's like 18 seats. So
what's that one room called that's up top?
that's where we're having that.
What's that room
the
called?
second story.
A second.
Yeah.
So that place is so cool. We went. That's where we met. At
Tom.
Tom. Sorry.
Tista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was at one of it was Alan Sternberg's dinners.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
She was there too.
were you there too?
think I was.
It was a big table.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably cooking in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't sitting there.
It was great. Well, I was like,
Yeah.
Well, we've done
You're doing
it.
something.
yeah.
Yeah, we've done a handful of the chef's dinners, and those are going to be coming back too. So,
I didn't know who Tom was, and I was like, why'd they send me next to this maniac?
He's a character for sure. I call him the mayor of Indianapolis because he's
Seems
definitely-
like it.
Yeah, he's a hardworking gentleman.
Oh yeah, we've had him on the show. He's great, but like I thought he was a crazy person at first. I was like, who let this guy in here?
He's like, it's my place.
You're trying to escort him out. Like, sir, you gotta go. This is not for you.
Like, this guy's gonna get cut off before the meal is over.
Yeah, there's a feeding station down the street.
He's like,
sir.
I own the street. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Like, well, now, aren't you doing a blue? Are you doing a Bluebeard type thing? A Bluebeard,
Like besides the
cook-off?
restaurant, or
Well, I mean,
Sorry, James Beard.
oh
you
yeah,
a
sorry,
James
yeah.
I get my
James
beards.
Beard, Blueberry,
I get my beards confused. All right.
We got James, we got Blue, we got.
Are you,
we should have done the beard
James
one today.
Goatee. It's a James Goatee Award.
So yeah, James Beard. They approached Audra and Audra a lot. I don't know if it was vice versa. Either ways, I've done some different dinners with James Beard, either at the James Beard House in New York or in Detroit. And then this year we are going to be doing one at the restaurant. So we have a couple of different chefs from out of town that are going to be joining us. And everybody's been nominated for James Beard in the past couple of years or at some point. So yeah, it'd just be a good way to have some different chefs come into our house and play around, and it'd be a good way to have, James Beard people also just see what we are.
How many noms have you got?
I don't know.
You lose track after a while.
Well, I don't really keep count. I don't know, 6 or 7.
What? Not that I'm surprised.
Did you just
that-
realize that we have a good chef in the house? Did you?
Well, it's not just
I
me.
would
it's-
have not talked about shitting on the table if I knew we had a James Goatee nominated person here.
Well, it doesn't really matter because this is who I am. I would rather have
Okay.
these conversations than
No,
too serious. I don't like being serious. So.
So when you go to this is my real question. So when you travel, you go to New York, you're going to the house of the James Beard, which I didn't even know they had a house.
Yeah.
Do they look down on you because you're from Indianapolis?
I certainly hope not. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they just appreciate having just chefs in their lineup in any kind of regard,
Okay.
either it be in Detroit or New York or Cincinnati or wherever. And it's also just great networking and, promoting ourselves, but also promoting James Beard House and the foundation. So, I mean, that's what a lot of it's for, is the foundation. So, with the ticket price, we will be donating, a fair amount of money to the foundation that will send, somebody to culinary school.
Oh, awesome. We have an event coming up. I don't know. I missed all the conversation in the front of the house, but did they tell you at all about the Meat Cake Invitational?
I think I heard I heard him say meat cake, meat pie. Well, then we started talking about horse pies. Meat patties. Yeah, I heard a little bit about that.
So we have an event that we do every year. This is our fourth one. It's the Meat Cake Invitational. This year we have 10 chef teams. Yusuf has a team that he's putting together.
He's his own one-man team, I'm assuming?
No, he's got a whole team. And then Zach and I are on a team, and then there's 8 other teams.
So wait, you guys are on a team, but you're also promoting it?
We're team
Yeah,
hard.
and we make the rules. Yeah, there's no conflicts.
And you judge it.
That's how we win.
To be fair, we've never won in a grand standing prize. Like
Grand standing prize. I won one year.
You won one
Bridget
year when
won
it was
one year.
just
She
all
was
Harder
the
Brunch people.
People's Choice one year, but we had a judge. We had
Abbi,
Sarah Miro.
I invented this, and I've competed every year, and I've never won.
So it is pretty fair.
Well, that's very humbling.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good lineup you have over there. Yeah.
And so
Is that this year? Yeah. That's
it's the greatest spectacle in meat entertainment.
For real.
we get and people. It's really turning into carnival too. Like the first, it was just about the cakes. It was the 3 of us. Yeah, it was Zach, Bridget, and I, and it was mainly just shit talking. We're like, who could make the best meat cake? And I kind of forgot that Zach knew how to cook at the time.
Well, it was both of them. Both him and Bridget were just shit talking, and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds fun. I'll do it." And then they basically just talked to each other like I wasn't there for like a month or two. Yeah. And then when I brought something decent, they were like, "Oh, where the fuck did this come? I didn't even know you were here."
Yeah. So you can make any kind of meat cake.
Yeah.
Like layered wedding meat cake.
So I've done like we had a meat baklava one year that was submitted. Like I've done like a wedding cake of meat. We've done like cupcakes. Ashley Brooks did Madeleines last year that were awesome. I mean, there's all sorts of different forms that you could take with it. If as long as it's like kind of meat or meat in the cake.
That's
that
cool.
top left one right there. That was Zach's first year. That's a crab cake the size of a fucking hubcap.
I iced it with remoulade and then put like cream cheese wrapped fillets on top of it.
Beef tartare.
Beef tartare.
Oh man.
And
you get the meat sweats, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, people get the meat sweats.
You can even buy meat sweats there. They're
like
sweatpants with meat all over them. Yeah.
They hired me, and they're like that first year we like played "Kiss by the Rose" like over and over again, and then that's become the national anthem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's now there's dancing involved in this meat cake competition. Not the chefs, but like there's dancing around.
Yeah, wouldn't it be wild if that was the second part? You had to submit a meat cake and then make a dance, a choreographed dance.
Wouldn't it be like a cakewalk?
Oh, there's got to be some sort of cakewalk element.
That would be fun.
Yeah, write that down.
So this year it's becoming almost an art fair too. So like we want things like when you're in your downtime, if you buy a ticket, not only do you get to sample these 10 different cakes and help judge pick the people's winner, but then you get to walk around and look at these cool like art installations and stuff like that too. Cool. That's going on. So
and there's men without their shirts off, like muscle.
The meat cake beefcakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have any calendars made?
Well, we need to.
Oh, we should do a
Man, I'm just
calendar.
full.
Yeah, we need you
We
on
should
the
do
team.
one of those like paper calendars, like the daily calendars, and then like a different.
Yep, a different meat.
You know, I haven't seen those in years.
Well, she did want to be on the team, but she heard about this upstairs, and she's like, "I'd like to be a judge."
Well, I could be in there some kind of capacity. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah. Are you free on the 25th?
Sure.
We're never seeing Abby again after this.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. See you later.
What did we do wrong?
If I'm not there at the start, just start without me. I'll be there.
I want to be around you guys all the time. So, yeah. I would love to help out in any kind of way. So,
it's really fun, and it's also like I love something where you get so much talented people to do something really stupid, you know. So
yeah,
it's
I
just
agree.
like
It's literally right up my alley. So.
It's like because then people's like egos really get involved too, you know. It's just like, no, I'm going to make the best.
Well, and I think it's kind of a crazy thing because like I think there's that whole like savory cooks don't like to do pastry and pastries don't always like to do savory, and they kind of and it forces that kind of marriage of those two thoughts. And I mean, I feel like it really, I don't know, I feel like it's a really kind of a cool competition as far as the kind of things it brings out.
It just kind of reminds me of UHF when Weird Al, he's playing with the mashed potatoes, and I don't know why, but he's like, this means something. It's an Outer Limits reference, you know? It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, building a volcano. That's funny.
What? Sorry, I just was.
You okay?
Hey, we're doing an episode, buddy.
I think I had a stroke.
You good?
I was like in the meat zone there. Started thinking about my meat cake.
I was just thinking about volcanoes spewing out gravy lava.
I overheard you guys talking earlier about tarot. Is that something that you're into?
No, but our friend Audra, she's a
you.
She's a witchy lady. Well, I don't know, is that witchy? Well, yeah, she reads tarot.
You're like, I don't mess with the dark arts myself.
I mean, I've done my fair share of that.
What do you do? What do you do for fun? What do you do when you're kicking back? When you get out of the kitchen?
Well, I've
Not
actually
food related.
I've acquired a lot of hobbies these days.
Horseback riding.
Well, I did get a compound bow for Christmas, so I'm gonna start.
Those are fun, aren't they?
Well, I've put it together, but I need to take it to a pro shop to make sure I did it correctly before I start shooting stuff. So I'm going to get into archery as well with my friend Audra.
Nice.
I'm writing a children's book and, gardening and learning how to, I'm really passionate about like growing things from seed, especially like wildflowers and whatnot. Just like, because I can grow tomatoes and peppers and stuff all day long, but, doing stuff from the seed from start to, I don't know. I'm just, it's intriguing to me,
There's a magic to it.
Yeah, and
like
you can keep it alive and whatnot. Other than that, I got another thing I'm going to start working on is some pottery at home. So I got a wheel to, spin my own pottery. I don't have a kiln though, but I have to get, special air dry clay. So I don't know. I'm just trying to acquire a lot of different hobbies. Oh, and then I play video games. So
You're a gamer.
What is? Tell me more about this children's book.
Okay, well, when I was a child, I wrote 2 children's books. Two children's books. Yeah. One was called The Sad Pumpkin. The other one was The Pink One That Went to School. So I don't know. It's been on my mind lately. And I have this cute dog, and I call him Boogie. That's his nickname. And then he has a little friend that's called Mr. Squiggles. I don't know. Just adventures of, and we'll see what happens. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know. It's just like when you have those like funny dreams, and then you have all these characters in front of you, it's like we might as well put it on paper somehow or other. Yeah. And I'll make $1 million just like the Harry Potter woman did or whatever.
Yeah. I think the kids book thing is a really awesome piece of merch. We had somebody come through just a couple weeks ago, and she has a kids book that she takes to her like stand up things. And I mean, I bought one and read it to my kids. I think it's a really cool thing. Like, I didn't realize it, but I'd much rather buy that than a T-shirt if I went to a show or something. And it was one of those things that I would have never thought of, but like you see it and it's like, that's a wonderful piece of merch.
Well, I mean, I grew up reading like all those like kid books, and I feel like kids don't do that enough these days. So like for Christmas, I make sure to give my nieces and nephews as many cool like educational like little books here and there. So and then I just love having hard copies.
Yeah.
Something on your bookshelf.
Physical books are great.
Yeah.
We should try to do a children's book.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Noted.
Yeah, for
Have
us,
you
I don't
ever
think
ate shit, little kid?
Have you ever seen a grown man shit on a table?
All right. Yeah. I think it's a bad idea.
We are doing another event in the summer called the Harder Brunch Adult Summer Camp. We ran a summer camp out for the weekend, and I really want someone to shoot a flaming arrow into something. So if your archery skills are that good by the summertime, like I want to like
so funny you say that because I was thinking about that the other day.
like a start of the Olympics, and then like something like lights up, maybe like it lights up the HB logo or something like that.
Or you actually blow up somebody's house.
Ooh,
that's even better.
There's a gas tank.
Yeah, but I love that. Like, if there's like a trail, like Harder Brunch, like we write it in gasoline
in the grass.
Yeah.
Or isn't it like a guy's running for like 5 days, and then he goes and throws that. Is that what the Olympics
That's
are?
Olympics.
Yeah.
Now, if we can talk about lighting the guy on fire, the Olympic torch, where he's the torch.
Yeah, you shoot the guy with the flaming arrow,
And then he starts
everybody's
it.
on fire, and then
Hey, that means 5 days until Harder Brunch. He's just running around for 5 days.
Yeah. I would love to go to the camp. I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be packed this year.
We love to have. Yeah, it's last
I
year
wanted
was
to go last year, but just too busy. So.
last year was proof of concept. I think this year, like it's kind of like with meat cakes. Just anytime you just do things, like more and more often, like the first time's always the hardest, and then people are like, "Oh, that is actually fun." Like,
Well, there's so much planning that goes into it, So I'm sure it's a lot on your guys.
Well, we just wing it, and that's been the magic of all of this.
it was very unsafe. So many lawsuits could happen. I can't believe it.
So, what do you guys want to do? No,
We weren't even allowed to be at that camp.
it's like, all right, we got to go quick before they come. No, someone even asked you if you wanted to be a private chef, and you were like, hell no.
No, I want to
I
have
wanna
fun
enjoy
when I'm
it.
Oh
not.
yeah, just come and chill. Absolutely. That's the thing too. Is like we know so many people. Like I'm always trying to rotate in. Like because of the nature of doing this podcast, we meet so many talented people in all kinds of different, between food and comedy and art and music and all this stuff. And then when we do these events, sometimes I'm like, sometimes I just want to invite people as a friend, like, hey, just come and enjoy this. And then the other times I'm like, hey, do you want to cut? So I'm always trying to gauge where people are at. Like, is this do you want to work or do you want to chill? Do you want to like?
Well, see, the thing about chefs, which I think you guys can relate to, if you go to an event like that and you see somebody, you're going to want to get your hands dirty eventually. You're like, can I help? Can I do something?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at with like Yusuf right now. I don't know if we should try to get him to be a private chef or just to come and have fun.
Yeah, he would be the same way. He'd put an apron on immediately, Because, what else are we going to do? It's fun for us to work, I feel like sometimes. But
I feel like I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not working. Yeah. At least I have a reason, a purpose, a script that I can follow. I don't have to just be weird.
Well, we had it, and like the camp staff there is great, and then their dining hall, kitchen staff was phenomenal. But like we're Harder Brunch, like we have like we got a certain reputation we have to live up to with the food. So like we had some input on and we were like, hey, the last brunch has to be like really good, and they were like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, like
just not what you've been doing.
Whatever you were gonna do, make it better than that. And so like the last day when we went, like they didn't really tell us exactly what they were gonna do. They just had like one of everything. Like it was amazing. It was like a smorgasbord, and they're just like beaming with pride, like they've never cooked like this before. Like,
well, no, the food was great. I was concerned, up front because like I don't know, they're used to cooking for a bunch of kids too. So, but I think they also had fun with it because they got to do something different than just chicken nuggets for a weekend or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I was very impressed with the food and especially the super brunch at the end.
They all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
The only thing that was tough was that first meal because it wasn't.
It was a chicken Manhattan day.
It wasn't
after 120 degrees.
It was the hottest day of the year, and I'm sure when they made the menu, it was fine. But it was like people were like falling out with heat stroke, and then it's like, here's your Thanksgiving dinner. Here's some hot gravy.
That was.
And then we had this band. We had this experimental band called the Thaddaeus play, and it's a lot of just these two women screaming. And so, like, I think people were like, "What did we get ourselves into?" Like they're serving us hot gravy. It's 110 degrees outside. This woman's like screaming about being in an asylum.
The Thaddaeus, I am a super fan of the Thaddaeus now. They're, I guess, performance art / music. And yeah, I feel like it was the most jarring way.
It to really start the camp. Yes,
it really. Like, you ever talk to somebody and you don't know if it's a bit or not? You don't know if what they're saying is a joke or if they're actually. It was like that. Like everybody got in a secluded location, paid us money, and then wondered, what the fuck did we get into?
Because it was very hot. Like I about passed out twice that day, and then to hear someone start off the dinner with screaming, I watched a lot of couples look at each other, shake their head, and get up and leave. They left the dining room.
I think Thad thought we ruined the entire thing in
that moment. I was because people already paid,
and everyone took all the Molly.
That's the best. But that's the thing. They can't go anywhere. Like, but as long as you make it better after that.
Yeah, and also it all is uphill. So like the second night, we had our friend Fred Miller play, who is this wonderful musician, and right when he was about to play, I heard someone was like, is it going to be the same music?
So you basically weeded out the people that did with hot gravy and screaming. Just sensory overload.
If you give them screaming the first night, anything is awesome.
Everything is better
after that. Sets the expectations.
That's
way
why
at
they
the
did
floor.
the Manhattan. They're probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like screaming in Manhattan. Great.
Oh man.
But it also like, did you ever go to camp when you were a kid?
No.
Okay, so that's
a little bit. But
that is kind of like the real camp experience. Is a little trauma up first, and it kind of tempers you. You kind of tempers you for the rest of the stay, and then you're just like, okay, like now I got it. It also like somehow it went from the hottest possible situation to like it rained all night, so everyone that was in a tent got washed out. So it was just like by the second night, everybody was trauma bonded and just kind of just like. We're gonna have fun today, though, right? Like today is gonna be fun, and then by the end, it was like nobody wanted to leave. Everybody was having such a great time.
Hit them with the trauma.
All right, well, I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. Can you drop a beat for me there, Zach? Abbi, thank you so much for taking some time out and eating with us today, coming on the show. Where can people, if they want to go to these dinners and they want to buy tickets, where can they go to get those?
Go to bluebeardindy.com or just look on our Instagram page. Things will be listed there. And thank you for having me, guys. It's been
absolutely.
a true, wonderful day.
Good.
Thaddaeus J.
You can find me at Pile of Crap on the Table. Caca Tables. It's a new menu that I'm working on. That's what I want to talk about anymore.
Zach.
And if you like poop, you should check out our After Brunch. It's only $3 a month. And you get extra episodes every single week. That's patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
Casey Campbell.
Look out for my documentary, From the Fart to the Table, coming out in Netflix soon. Also look me up on Instagram as Danger Brewer, and have some fun out there.
She's a famous chef, you guys.
Well, should I just say it's really shitty? It's really shitty. I'm joking.
Meat Cake tickets are on sale right now. Go to eventbrite.com. Pick them up. You know what? It makes a great Valentine's Day gift for the carnivore in your life. I
thought you were going to say for the carny in your life.
For the carny living under your bed. It makes a great gift. I've been looking at all the people buying tickets, and it's a lot of people buying tickets in pairs because I think it's a great date activity to go and eat a bunch of meat together, get the meat sweats. We wanted to do one that was right closer to Valentine's Day and call it Meet Cute. That was the goal, but maybe next year. All right. At Dyke Michaels on all social media. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
From Fart to Table is really good.